Okay, so the first question is from Kareem. He said, "Yo, so I have a mild stutter, but I don't stutter when I'm alone, so I know it's not a medical condition or anything. Every time I talk to somebody, I always have memories in the back of my mind when someone joked about my stutter. I know it's possible to overcome my stutter, but I don't know how to control my mind and thoughts, and I'm not trying to stutter when I'm out of high school." Okay, Kareem. Wow, I'm sure that a lot of people have that problem. A lot of people are insecure in the way that they talk, including myself. I was like that as well. I couldn't really put together sentences, and even to this day, I still struggle with that sometimes. A lot of it is overthinking, like you said. You're thinking about how others are going to perceive you as opposed to just getting your message out there. Now, one thing that I feel like can help you and anyone going through any type of speech problems is talking slower. Take your time when you talk. A lot of times when you stutter, it's because you're trying to speak faster than you can think. And, sometimes with me, I do that when I'm making videos, and that's why you see a lot of cuts in my videos, because I'm talking faster than I can actually process what I'm saying. Now, I think a big thing that you should definitely do as well is put yourself in more social situations so that you can practice talking. Okay, speaking is a skill at the end of the day. For some people, it does come more naturally than others, but it is a skill that you can develop over time. It's all about breaking that mental barrier that you've set for yourself. Because what you have to understand is that those limitations are, like you said, all in your mind. It's all in your head. Once you overcome that obstacle, that internal self-imposed obstacle, you'll be able to speak just fine. Now, obviously, nobody speaks perfectly, including myself. But as you can see throughout the progression of my videos, I've become a much better, more articulate speaker. And that's just from repetition, from practice. Like I said, speaking is a skill. So for you, I would recommend going on Omegle. Go on Omegle and just talk to people. Because if you mess up, and if you're that insecure about it, you can always just skip when you mess up. And I know that you shouldn't really make too much of a habit of doing that, because you can't really do the same thing in real situations, real social settings. You can't just press a skip button if somebody's right in front of you, but you have to start somewhere. So start with Omegle, or if you want to move past that, if you don't want the training wheels, go out and just start talking to people. Talk about random things, ask them questions. Another thing that helps me when it comes to just being more articulate and not dealing with stuttering and things like that is taking the time to think before you speak. Okay, this is something that a lot of people don't do. Like I said, a lot of the times when you're stuttering, it's because you're speaking faster than you're thinking. So you're really just talking without any regard to what you're actually saying. So when you take some time to think before you speak, you're naturally going to be more articulate. If you know exactly what you're going to say to somebody before you say it, it allows you to get that message across more clearly, because you already know exactly what you're going to say. The next question is from Zion Williamson once again. So this is a follow-up to my previous dilemma posted on October 17th. Sorry if I use different words for things. I'm from Australia. Shout out to Australia. So my school started back today. At recess, it was really awkward between us, but I figured it would smooth out. But at lunch, it was still like that. I asked them if they actually wanted me around. They said not really. I said cool and walked off. The rest of lunch, I just walked around alone and sat in the bathroom stalls. So basically, I have 0 friends. I have no idea what to do, and I'm really lost. I'm not sure whether to try and find a new friend group, try and make up with them, or just focus on myself. I just don't know. Thanks anyways. Okay, so for those of you guys who did not watch the last episode where he gave his initial dilemma, this is the dilemma that he had. You can pause the video if you want to read that. But basically, Zion, man, I'm not gonna lie. You don't need to be around those people anymore. Ever. Leave them out of your life. Leave them behind. They do not belong in your life. You do not belong in their lives. For whatever reason, they have decided that they don't like you anymore, which that's okay. Sometimes people grow apart. I find it extremely petty how they handled that, though. I think that they could have communicated that much better with you, as opposed to just, kind of ghosting you. That's weird in my opinion. But those are not your friends, and really they never were. They were never your friends. If they're acting like that, they were never your friends. Now, this is all under the assumption that you did not do anything toxic or anything like that, because sometimes people do need to be cut off. Okay, sometimes people do need to be cut off. So definitely take some time to focus on yourself. I'm not saying that you are toxic or that you're a bad friend or anything, but take some time to focus on yourself, do some introspection, and think about why this might have happened to you. What caused this to happen? And work on yourself. Take some time to work on yourself so that this doesn't happen again. Now, like I said, those were not your friends either way, regardless of if you were a really, really good friend or a not so good friend. Either way, they don't belong in your life. They do not belong in your life. And that is a telltale sign that they don't. Now, another thing that you need to understand is that when people leave your life, that's the universe making room for other people to enter into your life. When one door closes, another door opens. Don't worry about trying to open that door anymore. That door is locked. Okay, deadbolt, 5 locks on the door. Focus on the doors that are open. Be yourself. Work on yourself and allow the right friend group. It might just be one person. You might just have one friend. But that's all you need. You just need that one person that truly understands you for who you are, which clearly those people do not. But of course, in order to find a friend that understands you, you need to understand yourself first. The next dilemma is from Black Hammer. He said, "Here's my dilemma. 6 months ago, I had a mental breakdown. I was struggling with my thoughts and I was scared that I was actually the person I was envisioning in my head. I went into a deep depression for 2 weeks where I didn't eat, sleep, or even walk. It was the scariest time in my life and I hope I never go back. I started NoFap and self-improving and I felt way better. I also fell deeper into my religion. I began reading pages of the Bible daily and praying regularly. Now I'm here today feeling a lot better, but I don't know what saved me, NoFap and self-improvement or prayer." Okay, Black Hammer, first of all, I'm glad that you were able to pull yourself out of that space. Okay, I've been depressed before, and I understand. I understand that it's a very difficult place to be in because you don't really know where to go from the bottom. But eventually you realize that the only place to go from the bottom is up. You can only go up at a certain point. When you hit rock bottom, all you can do is try to climb the ranks again and try to find your happiness again. So I think it's great that you were able to implement different practices into your life to help yourself find that happiness organically. Now, I am not religious, okay? I am not religious, and I have made videos on this in the past. But I have nothing against religion. If you find peace in your religion, keep doing you. You know, it really doesn't matter if it was your religion or your self-improvement journey, because the two are not mutually exclusive. They can go together. You know, a lot of times they complement each other. Spirituality and self-improvement go hand in hand. So don't worry about which one got you out of that space, because more than likely it was the combination of both. You probably needed both. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep going on your NoFap journey. You know, keep reading the Bible or whatever else you need to do. But you clearly found something that works for you. Keep doing that thing. Keep doing all of those things that helped you find that happiness. The next question is from Mr. Munch. He said, "I'm afraid that there will be nothing after death. Not that I'll be able to react about it, but I just fear the idea of never seeing my past friends and family ever again. That once I take my forever sleep, everything that ever was is gone. Knowing that my parents will die, my friends, my siblings, etc. It makes me feel like I'm going insane. Like I don't know what to say." Okay, Mr. Munch, I feel like that's a question that a lot of people have. A lot of people subconsciously fear death, not because of dying itself, but because death is the ultimate unknown. At the end of the day, no matter who you are, nobody knows what happens after death. You know, that's why a lot of people find comfort in religion and, you know, science or whatever. People find comfort in trying to find answers. But the reality is that nobody truly knows. And that's the beauty of it. Because with uncertainty comes unlimited potential. Another thing is that it allows you to truly appreciate life that much more, because you never know when your life is going to end. So you want to live your best life and enjoy the interactions with your family and your friends and your loved ones, because you don't know when that time is going to come to an end. You know, you want to appreciate every single moment. You know, like I said, I'm spiritual, So, my belief is that you never truly die. You just kind of ascend or change energy forms, if that makes sense, because energy can't be created nor destroyed, only transferred or transformed. So you'll just become something different. But like I said, nobody truly knows. That's just my best guess. Everyone has their own guess. But one thing that I've learned is to focus less on what happens after death and focus more on what happens before death, which is life. Life, that's it. That's what we know. We know life, and we can enjoy life in that way as an experience. Don't go crazy trying to figure out what happens after death, because the only way to figure out is to die. And even then, you might not be aware after death to know what's actually going on. The next dilemma is from 9. He said, yesterday I opened up to my parents about my spirituality and we had a small convo about it. I told them I don't resonate with Christianity and I never have really. They were telling me we don't connect with nature and animals, we rule over it, and that we don't live multiple lives but one. But something my dad really wanted to leave me with is the question of whether or not the universe is all good or bad. He asked me if I believe if there's an enemy or a devil. I told him yeah, I believe demons are real, but I ultimately believe I am my biggest enemy. I personally believe in oneness and that one cannot be without the other, such as good cannot be without evil, so of course the universe isn't all good, right? Honestly, this just takes me back to my point in belief that everyone has their own truth and some people will resonate with different things. Isn't your family and friends thinking you're crazy part of the journey? Okay, 9, wow, that's a very profound dilemma right there. I'm glad that I never had to go through that. My parents are not religious. In fact, I actually picked up on a lot of the spiritual principles that I pass forward to you guys from my dad. Okay, he's the one that got me into spirituality. So I never had to deal with, that conflict. But I do understand how hard it can be to get those ideas across to somebody who's never really thought outside of the realm of what they've been taught to believe, if that makes sense. What I've learned is that there's no use in convincing people of what's right or what's wrong. Like you said, everyone has their own unique experience. It seems like me and you have very similar beliefs when it comes to life in general. Everyone has their own beliefs, and that's part of the experience. Without religion, there can't be atheism. Like, there needs to be that balance, that yin yang. And in regards to what your dad said about if life is good or bad, like you said, life is balanced. And the ultimate balance is neutrality. When you take a positive and a negative charge and put them together, you have a neutral charge. That's what the universe vibrates at. That's the universe's frequency. It's neutrality. Neutrality is all-encompassing, but at the same time, it's empty. It's completely empty, and it allows for the ultimate potential. Just like I said in regards to the last dilemma, it's uncertainty. It's not knowing what is. It's not knowing the truth. But not knowing the truth allows for any truth to be true. That's why I say the belief in your truth is the truth in your belief.